Dynasty Degenerates. This week we are joined by your younger cousin, my younger cousin, the Casper the Ghost, whatever you'd like to call him, the general manager of the Love Boats. We are joined tonight by my little cousin Jack, who most of you guys actually got to meet, so that was pretty cool. How are you doing tonight, Jack?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I like to think the Casper the Ghost nickname has seen the end of its days. However, based off last week, I'm not. I think that title might be slowly coming back. Um, but yeah, overall doing well. Really enjoying Dynasty League this year, especially now that I'm winning a little bit more. So yeah, but overall pretty well.
Good. Well, yeah, I was gonna give you some shit if you weren't playing Isaac, but you still managed to beat Justin for the median. So like, even
I
without
did.
Kincaid, you pulled it off. At least you realized before the game started. I'll give you that.
I did. Yes, I actually meant to auto sub Darnell Washington into the spot because I did see he was questionable. And then when I realized that I didn't do that, I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. And then I saw Darnell Washington put up almost 10 points. And I thought, well, some people in the league might not be too happy if Mitchell used his commissioner powers to update my lineup. So I just kind of decided, well, just got to take that one on the chin. And hopefully Jane Daniels and Michael Penix put up enough points to hit the median. And thankfully they put up just enough.
Yeah, that was not going to happen for you regardless. That was kind of a go make a trade tough luck situation.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
not using the auto sub isn't an excuse, but it's all good. You
Yeah,
still beat the
yeah,
median. You still won.
I
Um,
did. Yes.
yeah, so it's been kind of an interesting week in football. I mean, the resurrection of Rico Dowdle getting 200 scrimmage yards 2 weeks in a row since Dalvin Cook. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, you said earlier you focused a little bit more. Your team's winning. I know you just kind of graduated. How's life changing for you?
Well, I'm still living at home, so I don't know if it's changed much, but I think more just kind of, well, it's nice to be on the making side money of the kind of world now rather than losing my money to student loans. Seems to be about twice a year in college. But yeah, I think more so now that I've started working, I've put a little more effort into fantasy for sure since I've graduated. My weekends aren't really filled with as much fun as they used to be. So every Friday and Saturday, or usually about once or twice a day during the school day, I'm usually checking fantasy football just to see if someone put a player on the trade block, or normally it's Miguel or someone has texted me for DK Metcalf. But yeah, I'd like to think of myself more active this year in terms of fantasy
I
now that I'm
think
on
we've
the
all
work
been a
side of
victim of
things.
the unsolicited DK Metcalf trade here of recent.
Yes.
Um, if
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
haven't been, I feel like Miguel thinks your team's pretty bad, and even then, you probably honestly got it. So, um,
It's true.
but yeah, so it's been good to kind of have you more involved. What do you think of the pod so far? Have you been actually paying attention?
I've been paying a little attention to the pod. I won't lie, probably not as much as others because by the time they're released, I'm usually in bed gearing up for the next school day. And then so usually I'm able to listen to about a little bit of it during my prep period. Oh, excuse me, when I don't have anything going on. Uh, but yeah, I do enjoy listening to the pod. I like to hear everyone's opinions, takes on the league, and just kind of the NFL as a whole, rather than just messaging through the chats and everything. I think it's been a great addition to the league this year.
I think we've also added a good nighttime routine for Lanners because he said he falls asleep while watching it. So it's only been 4 minutes. So if you're still listening to this and awake, here's your timestamp to jump back to. But yeah, so do you feel like you've been more involved in Dynasty since you've kind of become a true adult and graduated college?
Yeah, for sure. I think since I graduated college, um, I've been more. I don't. I think just more kind of engaged with what's going on. I find myself kind of. I use it more as kind of just as a brain break, kind of throughout my workday. Like teaching. I teach the first three periods of the day, and then I have the fourth period off as prep. And usually during the first 10 minutes or so, usually I just take a minute on my phone, and that's usually when I'm on fantasy. Um, So I think, yeah, just more turn adult. I think I don't want to say it's more out of boredom, but I just kind of find myself with more downtime and just more engaged with fantasy. I guess just see what's going on, who wants to make a trade, and I'm just having more fun with it now that I'm out of college and I don't have stuff going on. What it felt like 5 days a week. Um, so yeah, but definitely more engaged now, and in an adult life.
Well, everyone that's engaged enough to listen to a podcast about their Dynasty Fantasy Football League is probably a little bit more engaged than normal, so I bet everyone appreciates that.
Fair.
um, our soothing voices have drifted Landers off to sleep, so hopefully that laugh woke him up.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, it's nice to kind of have you back or kind of more engaged in the first place. Have you been sending out more trades or just kind of more open to moving players? What's been
Um,
different?
yeah, I think I'm more of a listener than I am more of like a sender of trades. Um, I think I've reached out to a couple guys about acquiring trades. Like recently reached out to Hogan about acquiring Dawson Knox yesterday. And to which I wasn't able to get that deal done because he didn't want anything to do with my fab. But he did offer a third round pick about a minute before kickoff since I didn't have Kincaid in the lineup, which I'm not accusing Hogan of, doing that on purpose. But if he did, I will say well played. Because if I had the IQ to do that move, I would have definitely done the same thing that he did. He did there. So, but I think overall, just more kind of being on the listening side, because it seems like there are a couple players in the league that are always looking to move people. I'm definitely more engaged with them. But normally, it's not just me. I'm not like just I don't wake up on a random day just looking to move a player just because I want to move a player. I think I'm just kind of more open to listening trades, and if it makes my team better this year, now that I'm going for it, then it's probably a trade I'm willing to make.
Is it 200 IQ negotiation tactic by Hoagie? Um,
Yes,
Pinning you at the last second as the last commercial runs. Hey, you want this guy? Third round pick. Just a little
yeah,
extortion right at the end. I love it.
yeah. It was brilliant. I mean, it was brilliant. I give him his flowers.
Yeah.
I really do. A lot of people would think that's a dirty move, but it's fantasy. There's no love here, and that's fine. I love it.
So, being more open, you said you're not looking to, you don't just wake up one day and decide to move a player. Are you like personally attached to every player on your team?
I don't want to say personally. Well, I mean, not really, but it certainly feels like that at times. Especially kind of like for some reason I love Zach Charbonnet. I don't know why. I just think he's a kind of a good player to have on your team. He catches a lot of useless screen passes. I think for about 2 or 3 years there, I got it seems about a text every day or every other day about Jalen Waddle, and I was just never able to reach a deal with anybody that would move him. And then I think I'm still a little bit of a Mac Jones and Zach Wilson believer. Um, I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why I still have Zach Wilson, but
I was gonna say,
With the way Tua is handling himself in Miami, he actually might get some playing time. Um,
but if he does get playing time, are you
maybe
ever
before
gonna trade him?
I would like to, yes, but I don't know who's going to want to trade for Zach Wilson
How is Mac Jones not the same thing as Zach Wilson?
because I think Mac Jones, with what he's done in San Francisco, will actually get another starting job somewhere in the near future. And if Michael Penix or Jane Daniels, or I really hope it doesn't happen. But if JJ McCarthy doesn't pan out in Minnesota, and Mac Jones has now found a reinstilled confidence in himself, then maybe he can turn into like a Sam Darnold or something like that and just put up solid numbers in the future now that he has his confidence back. Like I said, that's just me being optimistic though.
What's the optimistic case for Will Levis?
There is
There's
none.
none. Okay,
There
good. I
is none.
agree.
He's just out for the year, and I can plug him in the IR.
It's a dead body on your roster. I understand. Um,
Yeah, so
yeah, but dude, you could have moved off Rogers last night. Got Knox. You probably could have done that. Hoagie's at down to two
I
QBs.
I probably could have done that. Yeah, but I didn't. Given Rogers' performance this year, I don't know if it would have been a one for one deal, but I definitely would have been interested in moving Rodgers for Knox. I don't know if I would have done it 1-for-1, but it would have been that would have been a more open deal that I would have been down to do if that were to happen.
For your handcuffed tight end.
Yeah, yeah, not really much I can do there.
Uh,
Bretton Strange going down really stung. So
yeah, you got James Cook on bye this week, but he was kind of on bye the last 2 weeks.
yeah, the performance hasn't been um, what I'd seen from him in the years past. He hasn't, I think he's just kind of more one of those running backs where he's probably going to get you probably 10, maybe 10 to 12 points, and it's just a matter of whether or not he finds the end zone, which he was obviously doing for me in the first couple of weeks, but obviously hasn't found the end zone lately. But I'm not too worried about that. I think he's a very good running back on a good offense, so I'm not too worried about it. They're going in the bye week this week. They'll get right, and I think they're just gonna hopefully utilize him more coming out of the bye. So pretty optimistic about that one too. I like to stay positive about my roster
There you go.
because
Well, coming
otherwise,
out of a 6-game forced bye, you get Rashi Rice back this week.
I do. Yeah, probably not the best individual to be praising after his off-season actions. But I've been I've been telling myself to just kind of get through the first 6 weeks, and I was actually fortunate enough to hit the median all 6 of those weeks. So I've been very pleased with the performances there, and now getting Rasheed Rice back, that brings back a lot of flexibility at the receiver position, and can put a lot more skills players in those flex spots as well.
What do
Yes,
you
very happy.
I think it's the first time you've traded your first round pick like in the season. What made you want to go for AJ Brown?
It was either him or DK Metcalf, and I have a lot of Steelers, so I went AJ Brown. I mean, that's really kind of what it came down to. I felt, um, that I was kind of an AJ Brown or DK Metcalf away from being a really strong contender this year. Um, and I figured to myself, if it cost me a first round pick to get AJ Brown to really go for it this year, then that's just what it's going to have to be. So, um, that's just kind of why I went for it. If I lose trying, then it is what it is, and we'll start rebuilding here in the next couple of years. But um, I really wanted to try and go for it this year because I don't feel like in years past with the league that I've really gone for it as much as I should have.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of your value stored up at quarterback, which hopefully you can get some value out of if needed. But you're this is an odd thing for you. You said you wake up and don't just pick a player and decide to deal them. I feel like that's what I do every single day. I just pick a guy on my roster. I'm like, what can I trade this guy for, and kind of go through the whole league. Um,
Yeah.
there's never been a morning that you've woken up and been like, damn, what can I get for Brandon Cooks?
No. There was one morning where I woke up and I really wanted Jalen Warren. That's really been the only kind of spur of the moment decision that's happened. So, um, yeah, once I got out and acquired him, I've just kind of been content and just kind of listening to offers since then. Not saying it won't happen again, but yeah, just Jalen Warren was kind of the one player I woke up and was like, I kind of want him on my team this season. So, and I was fortunate enough to get him. So
Arthur
I
Smith really
was,
does like inferior running backs because that's what he did with
yes, he
Tyler Algier and
does.
Bijan. So,
Yes, he does. Yes.
but yeah, so I mean, you've obviously been a lot more engaged in actually setting your lineup outside of this week. But forgetting the auto sub, the classic. Um, your team has
Yeah.
always kind of been like right there on the edge, right? And
Yeah.
I think you might actually be able to go for it. Like I think your team's actually good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. That's the goal. And like I said, is it the most dominant and intimidating roster in the league? Probably not this week with Darnell Washington at tight end, but it's just kind of a bunch of players, that are capable. They're all projected about 10 to 12 points. And then, but they're all players that are capable of just kind of popping off, and like Scattaboo last week putting up 30 points against Philly. I just feel like I have a bunch of those players where if I can catch them going into the playoffs getting hot, then I have a good chance of maybe winning some money this year.
And that is always the goal. Yeah,
That's right.
but it's also kind of just being able to evaluate your team this season, right? Like I my mentality with it is like I think my team's good enough, and CD Lamb going down early. I was in my head, I was like, all right, if I can stay 500 without CD Lamb, when CD comes back, it's gonna be insane. So you getting Rashi Rice back. I'm hopefully getting CD back this week. The league has definitely gotten really top heavy. Um, did you pay attention to the group chat when Landers was talking about his theory on the league trades?
I did not. No, I'm not gonna lie. If there's one thing I'm still not very good at being engaged at, it is checking that league chat. I'm pretty good in the Snapchat group chat, but on the sleeper group chat, I'm not very good about it at all.
Oh, this was in there.
Um,
This was on the Snapchat group.
oh, it was. I
Yeah,
must
but
not have.
like
I don't really remember it.
I feel like he made a really good point that like people are kind of like locked into their path, and we have like a clear playoff gap of like playoff teams. I think there's like
Yeah.
7 teams, but we could have like 9 or 10. Like I genuinely think
Oh
all
yeah.
10 could be competitive. Some people have had some pretty bad injury luck, so like I understand just like not trying to get fully compete, but I feel like making the decision as early as it's been made has made the league a little different this year.
It's been different. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. For me, more so, kind of what I focus on every week is I don't necessarily focus on my opponent. To me, I'm just kind of looking at the median kind of each week. Because like you said, when you play those top heavy teams, you know, obviously both teams are very capable of, putting up either 180 points or they could, shit the bed and, put up 100, So me, I just more match up my team with the median. And if I hit it, then great. I know I have a team that's capable of making a run. But if I'm not hitting that median consistently, then um, I know that, it might not be my year in the league. So,
Yeah, well, I think you got a good shot this year. I think you gotta once you get to the playoffs, it's kind of just a crapshoot. It's a coin flip every week. Um,
yeah.
you just got to get there. That's my mentality with most of it. So
Hmm.
yeah, so kind of moving on to kind of talking more about some individual players. How do you like go about like evaluating value long term in Dynasty? Because I have my very closely held beliefs, like where I like to keep my quote unquote value. But like, how do you balance like value, like Dynasty value versus like actual fantasy production?
For me, I just kind of more base it off feel. I don't necessarily think I have um, a philosophy I keep in Dynasty. Like I look at young talent like Jane Daniels is going absolutely nowhere. But I don't know. I don't.
So
I'm not really
what
like
do
a
you think Josh
Dynasty.
Allen? What do you think Josh Allen's worth in Dynasty?
What would I trade for him in Dynasty?
Like what? Yeah,
Um,
like or just like not that you would personally give up, but like if you had Josh Allen, what would you trade him for?
I would say the minimum is probably 2 first round picks. Um, because he is a league winner, and then probably a younger skilled player that's not necessarily on the elite side,
Okay.
but a solid player that you can kind of plug in your starting lineup and he might be solid for like a minute. So I'd look at, I know he's kind of been injury ridden, but I would look at, 2 first round picks and maybe a player on my team like Ricky Pearsall. He's not that necessarily elite wide receiver, but he's a good productive flex spot that will probably put up 10 to 15 points average on the weekly. That's kind of just how I evaluate Dynasty, and I will say I do like to use the Dynasty trade calculator online just to see kind of what the value is. I
What do you
like to use.
what
Go
what
ahead.
do you use?
Keep cut trade.
Keep trade cut.
Uh,
KTC.
Keep trade cut. Yeah,
Okay.
KTC. Yeah, I
Okay.
just like to. I mean, I don't necessarily do that. You know, that's not that's not determining whether or not I make the trade, but I do like to see kind of what the analytical or view is or value of each player is, just kind of in the long term future, and that's just my motto how I um, evaluate players, and I like to think that, like I said, being more positive, that all the players have potential to do great things. Like I said, I hung on a Pat Firemuth for probably a little bit too long. I just thought, with him, and I just don't know if he ever had the right quarterback situation in Pittsburgh and give him the ball. Um, but I do like to see. I just kind of like hang on to guys probably a little bit too long. They need to. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I know you were clowning me for taking James Cook in the first round a couple years ago.
I took
But
Traylon
then
Burks in
again,
the
I also
first round.
yeah. But then again, I think a year later I drafted Will Levis in the first round. So I'm not saying I'm like a genius by any stretch. But
Yeah. So, what do you think of Baker Mayfield? Like, how much value would you put on Baker Mayfield?
uh, I'd say he's at least a first round pick. Maybe a first and second. And like I said, I mean he's 30
Josh
already.
Allen's
So I'd
29.
probably that's true. But yeah, well, I guess that's fair. I think kind of with Baker Mayfield, um, there's just though he still has those games where you can't necessarily, um, where he's capable of just kind of laying an egg. It seems like even when he plays bad, Josh Allen still finds a way to give you, if he's projected 20, he still finds a way to get you like 15 versus when Baker plays bad, it's kind of like a stinker, like a 6 or a 8 point game.
Do you think it's because
So
we've
I,
seen like Baker Mayfield fail at different spots in his career? Like, I mean, the Browns wasn't the best. The Panthers was a hot mess. Going to the Rams was okay, but then he's playing really good in Tampa, and we haven't seen Josh Allen like fail.
yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. It's like, Sam Darnold with the Vikings last year. Everyone almost feels like, they're kind of waiting for the downfall a little bit to happen.
Yep.
So I think and I think there is that value too. And I actually think it's fair. When you see a player like Baker have that success, there's still those potential games where, you know, he's capable of not playing very well because of his past failures. I think that's just kind of a label that a lot of these NFL, certainly quarterbacks, get in the NFL. I mean, no one really believed in Sam Darnold last year, and it took him till the last 2 games to not play his best, and people obviously were like, "Oh, yep, there he is." So I think you're, yeah, with Baker not playing well, kind of, and he has that label of okay, has that label of not being an elite fantasy quarterback like someone like Josh Allen might be.
Yeah, and I think someone brought that up to me, and I thought it was a really good point. And yeah, I was just kind of interested in your opinion on it because I think I really get baked into my own takes, and that kind of opened my eyes today. Like, oh, maybe I am wrong on some of these guys. Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
so yeah, it's been a fun year so far. I've really enjoyed watching the fantasy weeks go and seeing some guys pop, and we haven't had a ton of like
Yeah.
huge injuries outside like Joe Burrow, but like it's been it's been good. What do you think of the season so far?
Um, I like it. Scores are close. I really think I took that first year in the league for granted because it seemed like a lot of guys were really contending, and I kind of do miss it. I do kind of miss the feeling of seeing it felt like during that first year, a lot of people had a chance, and I think a lot of people still have a chance now. But like you said, it's just so top heavy. Um, that we might not see that competitiveness up and down the league this year. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the league this year. Seems like as the years have progressed, that more people are getting involved and making trades and having fun with it, even if they are on a rebuilding stretch.
Well, we've been doing that the whole time, Jack. It's happy that you're noticing now.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when all of a sudden I start to notice things when I graduate college and I evaluate the league kind of for what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing when it is.
it's great.
Yeah,
We're happy to have you. So far,
thanks.
who do you think who's like your biggest like? I mean, you can throw heavy air quotes into this. Your rival in the league. Who do you like when you're playing them? Or like, I gotta beat the shit out of this guy. I have one in specific.
For me, um, well, obviously, I think it's you. Just and I've known you longer, and um, you know, when the years when I struggled, set my lineup every week. Obviously, wasn't the best look for me. I think so. I think honestly, for the amount of people who uh gave who would text you about me not setting my lineup, I have enjoyed when I could beat absolutely anybody in this league. Because now that I'm actually playing a little bit, I can actually prove to myself that hey, maybe I do know a little bit about fantasy football. I just wasn't paying attention the last 3 years. So really, honestly, anybody in the league that I beat, I enjoy. Except I do like except Miguel. Miguel's actually been very nice to me because I think Miguel actually one time texted me. He was just like, I think Miguel actually genuinely texted me one time. He was like, "Dude, are you okay? You haven't set your lineup. Like, is something wrong?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I haven't checked it." So Miguel, so Miguel is kind of like, okay, like I don't like to like beat Miguel, but yeah, everyone else who you know thought that I didn't care about, well, who thought that I was just kind of in this league because I was your cousin, which is why I am in this league. I'm not ignoring that. But yeah, really anybody who I can beat in this league, I really enjoy because I know there's a small part of them who is a little bothered that they got beat by the guy who didn't check his lineup for 2 years.
There you go. Yeah. Do you think it helped that you met a majority of them in person?
I think that helped. Yeah, it helped a lot too. I mean, I met majority of them at your wedding, but I didn't really have a lot of time to kind of sit down and talk with them. And then this last year, obviously up in Minnesota, we were up at the bar, and actually getting to sit down and talk to them was very refreshing. It was very fun, and it actually kind of started when I met Lanners at Target Field during the Twins Dodgers game. Just kind of being able to meet someone who I did not know, and actually talk to him. I think Evan and I actually had a beer for like an inning or about an inning, just talk to get to know each other. And then after that, I was like, okay, like he's kind of a sweet dude. So that one really kind of interaction kind of motivated me to at least kind of set my lineup, which I was able to do my senior year of college, and I was pretty pumped up about that. I was able to set my lineup every day senior year of college. Did I look at the league that often? No, but I did set my lineup, so I did get a little bit better with that last year.
That was legendary group chat lore. You guys finding each other at the Twins game.
That's right. That's right. It
Ugh.
was funny. He posted on his story. He was on the third base line. I just texted him like, "Hey, I'm out in left field," and he was like, "Okay, I'll come get a beer in like the fifth inning or whatever." And I just ran down and met him. Yeah, pretty sweet dude.
He's a really cool guy.
Good
Yeah.
guy.
I can't wait for
Bought
our
me bought me a yeah,
podcast
bought me
with
a
you.
beer. So
Hey, that's an
good
absolute
guy.
man. That's an absolute stud. That's who he is. So,
Yeah. Well, I
well,
also wasn't making money at the time, so
he's been there,
I
done
mean,
that.
I was gonna offer him a beer, but I probably only had like $30 in my account at the time, so it would have been like the cheapest form of beer the Twins had.
There you go. That's fair. Yeah, he's been there,
Yeah,
done that. But
yeah,
yeah, that was pretty fun. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for the in-person draft. You're gonna be there this year?
What day is it? I should be there.
It's like April 25th. One second, I can't lie on the pod. One second, let me actually pull up the calendar.
It's okay.
I think it's April 25th. Yep,
Is it
April
on a
25th.
Saturday?
It's on a Saturday.
Okay, I should be there because I obviously I coach in the spring, so I wouldn't be able to get there on a Friday, but Saturday I should be able to make it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna go watch the last round of the NFL draft and start our
Okay.
fantasy draft. So
Okay. Awesome.
perfect. We should. Justin Vu's gonna be there too, so you can meet him. Isaac said he's gonna be there, so we're gonna. The whole squad's
Oh,
gonna roll.
so I've met everybody.
Miguel's
Nice.
gonna. Me and Miguel are flying up, so you better be there.
Oh, well, now I have to go.
Exactly. If Miguel's there, you gotta be there.
Exactly.
So, other than Scataboo, is there any
Yeah.
one of your young guys that you're planting your flag on? Like this guy's gonna be a fantasy stud.
That's not a quarterback, I assume. 'Cause, I mean, we all know Jay Daniels is.
Yeah, I think he's already kind of established himself as that.
Yeah. Um. Oh God. If he could stay healthy, I like the direction Ricky Pearsall is going.
If he doesn't get shot on the side of the
Um.
street again.
Yeah, I know. That's two. I know two players. Brian Robinson and Ricky Pearsall, both on the 49ers.
And both on your roster.
Yeah, both on my roster. Yep. Um. Uh. I think Jane Daniels and Scatterboom I'm for sure planting the flag. I mean, I don't know. He's probably not considered to be like an elite receiver, but it's hard for me not to plant the flag on Rasheed Rice, who's 25 and has Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football. I mean, so and then obviously I've had the flag planted for Amon Ra for a couple of years now. So yeah,
That's very
there
true.
are a couple guys who the flags are planted, but I mean, in terms of a ensure probably going nowhere unless someone gives me the farm in the future. Jay Daniels is that guy who's
Number
not
one.
going anywhere.
It's fair.
Yeah,
Who do you think? Who do you think wins it all?
but like the league or the Super Bowl,
The our league, not the Super Bowl.
our league. Um, I'll give it to Lanners, um, because he bought me a beer at the Twins game and he's having a good year. So, I'll give it to Lanners. Um, I do like the direction Matt is going though. I think his team seems to be popping off really nicely. That Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs duo has been um, pretty wonderful for him this year. And then Smith and Jigba popping off this year. Keenan
JSN's been
Allen
going
actually
hard.
looking like he's okay, and J.K. Dobbins staying healthy. You know that's been pretty big for him, and you know you got a pretty good team when Matthew Stafford and Trey Tucker are riding your bench. So um, yeah, I like Matt's team and just Landers. I think Landers I'm probably rooting for him if I'm not rooting for myself because he not too long ago he was finishing in last place and running the milk mile, and now that he has a chance to go far. It'd be pretty cool to see.
It was the beer mile, but yeah, the milk mile sounds actually worse. I'd rather vomit beer than vomit milk. That sounds
Oh, the beer mile.
significantly
That's
worse.
right. Yeah, and then obviously Darren Sproles too, having that.
The Darren
Um,
Sproles poll. I don't know how far. He said he
yeah,
was scrolling through the free agents. I was like, what, did you scroll to the bottom? Like, good God.
yeah. I I love it. I think that's hilarious. I actually considered when I saw that almost going to pick up Adrian Peterson, but I chose not to do that.
There you go. Any bold predictions for the rest of the year?
Any bold predictions last year? Yeah, I don't. I don't know if it's bold, but I think Isaac gets out of the last place. I think that's going to go to Quinn. Is that bold? Probably not, because Isaac has more points than me.
It's pretty bold. It's going to come
It's
down to their
bold.
head-to-head matchup, honestly.
Yeah, I think Isaac gets out of the run. Obviously, I don't know what week his players have buys and everything, but I think Isaac gets out of the run this year, and um, I think Quinn takes last place. So I think that's my bold prediction. We'll have because Quinn, who finished in first place one year, and Landers, who finished in last place one year. I think those roles will flip this year. I think that's my bold prediction. I think Landers will get first, and Quinn will get last.
That's a that's a pretty good one. I like that. That was a good pick.
Thank you.
I'm trying to find when the Horn Dogs play the Rangers here. Oh my gosh, it's week 13. Is
Is that
the
the
end of the
last week?
season. Second, yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. I'm gonna be
uh,
more focused on that than on my own matchup.
that's actually clutch that actually ended on the last one. So
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is playing. Joe Flacco. Do you think Joe Flacco's still going to be starting? That's what this matchup's going to come down
Um,
to. Who has a starting quarterback on their team?
this is starting quarterback. Um, I mean, if the Bengals season just continues to spiral, I mean, I don't see a reason why you would play Joe Burrow there. I mean, I guess keep him coming back at 100% is nice, but also at the same time, I don't think they make the move for Flacco if they're not desperate. I think if it was more of a short term injury for Burrow, I don't know if they make the trade, but you know, I think the trade for Flacco probably tells us it might be a long year for the Bengals.
It might
So,
not be good. Joe Flacco would be playing the Ravens that week. A revenge game.
ooh, I think you almost have to play him then, don't you?
Well,
I'd,
yeah,
I'd play Flacco.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
we'll see. So we got CJ Stroud versus Flacco. Then it's a crapshoot after that. Whoever catches a random touchdown this week, if Tesla grabs a TD, then maybe.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that's gonna be a spicy matchup. I'm rooting for the Horn Dogs to win that one, obviously, because I would like the 101. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's a good take. I like the flip the standings. That's a good one. So I I'm down to move on to the Wesleys. Is there any other shit talking you would like to do to anybody while you're here before we get into the locks of the week?
Um, I don't think so. I'm not really much of a trash talker. I just kind of yeah, talking trash isn't it really isn't my thing. I wish I was good at it. But I'm just not. So I will like to say I just would like to say just kind of everyone in the league, like when I actually pay attention, start making some moves, like I'm actually not that bad. So for all those who want you to kick me out of the league, you can just I can't say what I want to say because I'm a teacher and I don't need this podcast getting out to the wrong audience. But you know who you are, and I think I've proven that I belong in this league.
I was probably
That's
one
all
of
I
them,
gotta say.
honestly.
That
Um,
that's all I get. That's all I gotta say. That's the PG version because as a teacher, I can't run my mouth.
all
So,
right. I was probably one of those people, but I gave you a second chance. So,
well,
um,
you were pretty vocal about it. You and I had our conversations, and I've been better, so it's fine.
it's a fucking understatement.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you are the most childlike, but you guys are all children. Good lord.
that.
Um,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
especially in like it's freaking like July, and I'm getting. Why is this guy not responding to my trade, dude? It's fuck. I appreciate the effort, but it's July. I'm not texting anyone in the middle of July.
Okay. Now, see, now that's where you could say I've never been that guy. Why isn't he responding to my trade?
Because
I've
you're not
never
paying
been that
attention.
guy.
But you also, I would
Well,
rather be,
exactly.
I'd rather you be that guy, Jack, than me have to tell you to look at a trade.
Oh yeah. Well, you haven't really had to tell me to look at a trade since then.
Yeah, well, reformed. So
Exactly. Yep.
going on to the locks of the week, we got a quick recap for last week. Wesley went a perfect 6 for 6, and Justin Vu went 4 for 6. So Wesley's retaken the lead at
Ooh.
24 correct versus 23 correct. Is out of 36 so far. Um, we'll go through the matchups here this week. I consulted with Wesley prior to this, so we got our picks in. The first matchup you got here, we got the Plano Aussies versus the Rain City Bitch Pigeons. So you got
I'm going to take I'll take Lanner's team over the Plano Aussies. I'm sorry, but I just like the matchups going into um, this week. I think Lanner's team's been has been playing pretty good football, and I think a lot of his team has favorable matchups going into this week, and I think he pulls out the W. And also Bijan and Baker playing two primetime games, kind of his key players there. It seems like when their key players are on primetime, they seem to overperform. So that's the pick I'm going with this week.
well, Wesley's hoping CD Lamb comes back. So if he's not back, it might be a little difficult. But with CD Lamb, I think we might have a shot. Um,
Okay.
he's going with the Aussies. Obviously, he's going to take. He's the assistant to the general manager for the Plano Aussies, so he's always going to vote for them. The next one we got up is the Hashling Clashers versus the Cobras. And the Cobras don't have Josh Allen this week.
Um, I, I'll be. I'm pretty convinced the Ohio. What is it? Hash sling. What?
The hash slinging slashers? Jack, please tell me you know what
Uh,
this reference means.
Slinging slashers. Should I?
You, whoa. This is probably the most disappointed in you I've ever been. That the hash slinging slashers from SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, I never grew up watching SpongeBob. Yeah,
Oh, guys, I think we should just kick him from the league at this point for not getting the hash slinging slasher reference. Good lord, I'm gonna have to send you something to watch tonight. You gotta. I don't even have words
yeah,
for that, but
no.
we're moving on. Um,
Yeah,
the next one
okay.
probably should be pretty easy. The TC Rejects and the Hudson Horn Dogs.
I'll take the TC rejects on that one.
Uh, Wesley's taking them
I
as
don't really.
well.
Okay,
Love to see
I
it.
don't need analysis on that one, do I? I
Nope, I think you're
mean,
I
okay,
think you got that one.
pretty self-explanatory.
Um, the next one, your matchup, Minnetonka Love Boats or the St. Paul Slammers.
Um, I'll take the Minnetonka Love Bolts on that one. Um, I just, I'm not the kind of guy to bet against
Your own
my
team.
own team, so I'm gonna take the Love Bolts on that one.
All right. Well, Wesley's going with the Slammers. He's going off. He thinks they got you this week. So you might have to take it up with your nephew. Um,
Yeah.
what do you think of the Fridley Timber Goats versus the Pequot Lake Pipsqueaks?
I will take the Pequot Lakes Pipsqueaks. It's very
Okay.
hard to deny what Hogan's team's been doing um, these past couple weeks, and
Especially losing Garrett
um,
Wilson kind of throws
yeah,
it.
losing Garrett Wilson. He was actually the kind of guy I was thinking about taking him, but then I saw his quarterbacks are Daniel Jones and Tua. I think it's. I don't know if it's going to last up the whole year, but I think he's riding the high while he can. So I'm going to take him again this week.
All right. And then I think I know who you're taking on this one, the Miracle Makers versus the Rangers.
Yeah, I'll take the Miracle Makers there.
All right. Well, we got two different this week. The key matchups are the Aussies and Bitch Pigeons and the Love Boats and Slammers.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, good talking to you, man. I hope you had a good night here. Anything you want to leave the people with as we sign off here?
Yeah, first things first, I apologize for not understanding the hash slinging slasher reference. Like I said, I didn't grow up watching SpongeBob. So that's something I guess I need to get a little bit better at. But no, other than that, it was a good podcast episode. I'm very happy they had me on. I loved it.
Awesome, dude. Well, happy to have you. Thanks for being a little accommodating, switching around. We were originally supposed
Welcome.
to have Miguel on the pod, but he had finals this week, so we cut him some slack. Next
Cool.
week, we will be joined by Miguel. So if you guys have any questions for Miguel coming up, um, shoot me a message. As always, I appreciate you guys for listening to the pod. Any comments, suggestions, questions you want to ask on an episode, shoot me a text. Let me know. And if you're one of those random people that found this on the internet, not sure why you're watching this far in, but thank you and I appreciate you. And Lanners, good night. Everybody else, have a great rest of your day.